welcome to 10 Minutes a Day Maths, 7th of August. If you haven't done them yet, just pause the screen, have a look, answer it for 10 minutes, and then come back. So, let's have a look at the very first question with fluency. Okay, calculators are allowed today, but you will notice sometimes I will use it, sometimes I won't. And you always see a calculator pop up when I'm using it and I'm explaining it. Okay, the model I'm using is the Casio FX991CW model, but you can use the FX83 and things like that. But I recommend the 991. It's got everything on it. So let's get started with fluency. So y equals 2x minus 1. What is the value of y when x equals 3? So we're going to substitute into this equation. So this x now becomes 3. Okay, now a number next to a letter means times. So this means 2 times 3, okay, which is 6. And then that means y equals 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. So y equals 5. So our first answer is y equals 5. Now, our next question, I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love fractions. I'm one of those weirdos who sees a fraction and loves it. Now, we've got this fraction, 7/8 divided by 4/5. Now, there's different rules to think about, okay? Now, this one is super simple. When you see a divide sign, you're going to use the KFC method. So what we do here, the first bit, K, stands for keep. You keep the first fraction the same. So that stays as 7/8. The F stands for flip. And we're going to flip the second fraction. And that means our denominator becomes our numerator. And our numerator becomes our denominator. And then the last bit, C, means change. We're going to change the divide for times. So now we've got 7/8 times 5/4. And now when you're times in fractions, you just do top multiplied by top and bottom multiplied by bottom. So 7 times 5 is 35. And then 8 times 4, well, remember, if you're not very good at your 8 times tables and you don't want to go 8, 16, 24, 32, it is a calculator. So you are allowed to use a calculator for it. The answer here we have is 32. Now, with a question like this, we now have an improper fraction. That means your numerator is bigger than your denominator. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify. We're going to see how many times 32 goes into 35. That's 1 whole. And we've got 3 left over out of 32. Now with this, we need to see if we can simplify. Now that means you need to find a highest common factor in 3 and 32. There's not one. So we have gone as low as we can. So the answer to this one is 1 whole and 3/5. Now you can check it with your calculator and you can see on the screen where I've put it in my calculator, and you can see that my calculator gave me the same answer. So you can always do that to double check. Right, the next question we have is solve 4x plus 8 equals 30. Now, this question is an equation, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to work our way back and we're going to use the inverse each time. So we can see here we've got 4x plus 8. Now, I need to get the 4x on its own, which means where I've got this plus 8, I'm going to minus 8, okay? So this will mean I've got 4x equals 30 minus 8, which is 22. Now, a number next to a letter, as I mentioned earlier, means times. We are doing the inverse every step to get that x on its own. So we're going to now divide by 4. So you can see on my screen, I'm doing 22 divided by 4, which gives me 5.5. So we can see here that x equals 5.5. So now we've solved it, we can now write our answer, which is absolutely perfect. Right, let's move on to our problem solving. Work out one interior angle in a regular pentagon. So whenever we think about interior angles, those are the angles inside our shape, okay? Now there is a special formula for interior angles. The formula is n minus 2 close bracket times 180, okay? And that's what we're going to use. And this is for interior angles. Now n stands for the number of sides. Okay, and this gives you what's called the sum of interior angles. This means all of the angles added together. So there's going to be an extra step that we have to do at the end. So n, which is pentagon. A pentagon's got 5 sides. So I'm going to do 5 take away 2 times by 180. Now you can put that all in your calculator with the brackets, because don't forget your calculator can do that. And you can see on the screen that I then get the answer of 540. Now our final step, because it wants you to work out one interior angle, we've got 5 angles that add together to make 540. So in order for us to find one, we're going to do 540 divided by 5. And again, you can put that in your calculator. You can see on the screen. And that means each angle in a regular pentagon is 108 degrees. So you can see that there. This formula here is a really good one to remember. And that's for the sum of the interior angles. Now, sticking with the exterior and interior angles, we've got a polygon has an exterior angle of 20 degrees. How many sides does it have? Now, this is a little bit trickier, okay? So there is a formula for exterior angles. Exterior angles is 360 divided by n equals 1 exterior angle. Now, if we think about what we know, okay, well, we don't know n in this situation, okay? We've got the polygon, so we've got our unknown sides. We know the answer, so we know that we have 360. This is our unknown, and that equals 20 degrees. So we need to work out what x is going to be. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to swap them. We're going to swap our unknown with what we have. So we're then going to have 360 divided by 20. Okay, now you can see on the screen, 360 divided by 20 equals 18. So that means my shape has 18 sides. And we can double check by just putting it back in our calculator and doing 360 divided by 18. If it gives us the answer of 20, we know we've got it correct. So there you can see what we've done. That's another way to remember it. That's the formula for exterior angles. Okay, let's have a look at this final one, the past exam question. There are 24 red counters and 40 blue counters. So we've got 24 red to 40 blue. Write down the ratio of the number of red counters to the number of blue counters in the bag. They want it in its simplest form. So what this means is we need to find a number that goes both into 24 and 40. It is called a factor. Now I'm looking at both of them. Well, I'm going to start with 4. So we're going to divide each side by 4. Okay. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. 24 divided by 4, if you're thinking about your 4 times table, you know that 5 times 4 is 20. So that means 6 times 4 is 24. So we've got 6/10. Now we can look at 6/10. Well, we can simplify it one more time. It can go. What number goes both into 6 and 10? That's 2. So we're now going to divide each side by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So can we go further? No, it's 3/5. Now what I did there is I broke it down into numbers that I know. Now there was another way that you could have got there quicker, and you could have done this. So we have the 24 to 40, and instead of me choosing 4, I could have gone, hang on, 8 goes into it as well, and we call that the highest common factor. So if you're able to find the highest common factor, you will only have to do it once. So 24 divided by 8, 8, 16, 24, that's your 3 times. 40 divided by 8 is 5. So you can see that in the purple method, I've used the highest common factor. And in the black method above, I've just used factors, and I've had to do it more than once. Both ways are fine, and both methods will get you to the same answer, which is 3 to 5. Okay, so well done for today. Tune in tomorrow for our next activity. Still using the calculator tomorrow. So see you then.